The year was 1934. America was in the midst of the Great Depression. Yet like today's challenging times, there was hope. Life as a box office superstar was just beginning for Clark Gable. Walt Disney giving birth to a quack that would soon become an icon. Donald Duck was born. And here in Texas, 7 volunteer nurses, led by Lillian Beckett and Sadie Lefkowitz, planted a seed and nurtured a vision that would eventually grow into the roots of life. Thus the birth of the Visiting Nurse Association of Texas.
One of the American characteristics is that we volunteer, we take care of our neighbors, we take care of our friends, and that's one of the things that it's always been about. VNA needs volunteers to help.
Volunteers have been the lifeblood of VNA for 75 years. From the very beginning, VNA has allowed volunteers meaningful opportunities to make a difference for those in the community needing a helping hand. Today in Dallas alone, there are over 4,000 volunteers at VNA.
We were started by volunteers, we're still run by volunteers, and without them, we couldn't do what we do in the community.
It's a community that has changed drastically in the last 3/4 of a century, yet the needs remain much the same. From home health care to bridge care, Meals on Wheels to hospice, VNA is caring for people, just as that vision became its mission 75 years ago.
I'm honored that you would honor my grandmother. I don't think people of that generation were recognized enough for the great achievements they did with very little resources. I think today we've got much more than we need and aren't appreciative of all the blessings that we have. She always was, and I hope that the VNA will continue in the tradition that it has built up since its foundation in 1934, of which my grandmother was a part.
Well, she was a very vital person. She had a sparkle in her eye. I knew her as an older woman who carried herself with great dignity, but was always human and accessible to her grandchildren, and a warm presence in my own life.
During its first full year of operation in 1935, VNA made 6,500 home care visits to 739 patients. From infant care to the acutely ill, not a single call for help went untreated, irrespective of race, color, sex, or creed. Whether in the segregated sections of Dallas, cardboard houses, or the tent cities, life-giving care was provided by VNA.
The Junior League of Dallas and the National Council of Jewish Women came together to fund the first office, which was on, well, it's where the Dallas Museum of Art is located now. And they had a secretary. She sat on a box because they didn't have a chair. She used a loaned typewriter, and that's how it started.
Aside from Lefkowitz and Beckett, another one of the great trailblazers of VNA was Georgia Bates, who remained on board for 35 years. Schooled at Vanderbilt and SMU, she became the first full-time VNA nurse when hired in 1939. In the early days, her salary was paid for by Highland Park United Methodist Church.
She was a nice person, and everybody loved her. You know, everybody. It didn't make any difference what race you were. She would help anybody.
And that legacy of helping people is what has allowed VNA to continue to make a difference. As the roots of life have grown stronger and spread further, VNA has been able to touch and support more people than ever before in so many ways.
We empower the families, their caregivers.
And they also feed thousands of families through the Meals on Wheels program.
Community service is sort of in our blood. My mother was involved with the VNA all the way back in the 70s and was there at the inception, literally, with the thought of let's build our own Meals on Wheels kitchen. And it has grown a great deal.
Grown to now deliver over 3,500 meals daily in Dallas County, with the potential to prepare and distribute over twice that number. Thanks to the generosity of the Dallas community, the 11,000 square foot Beatrice M. Haggerty kitchen is now housed in VNA's new home. And Meals on Wheels is so much more than just food. It's the emotional nourishment that accompanies each meal that can often be as nutritious as the food itself.
One of the requirements for growing up in my family is to drive Meals on Wheels with Aunt Lyda. They have to go learn about the rest of town, and it makes you feel really good to be able to help someone.
It doesn't get any better than that. And at VNA, it matters not whether you're a part-time volunteer or a full-time employee. It's the spirit of accomplishment that you've made a difference that is most rewarding.
I like traveling, and I like the supports and services that we get with the team approach.
The team approach is what VNA is all about. Consistently looking to raise the comfort level for patients and clients through advanced technique and modern technology.
Back when I started in nursing, true, there were charts upon charts. Everything was always handwritten out, from the simple assessment down to the nursing care plan.
What's happening is with electronic medical records, the ability to interface with hospitals and doctors' offices and the person's home and their family.
It's all about solving problems to keep people safe and improved in their home setting.
I've learned a lot about health care, which are practical little things to know at home, but also feeling good about knowing that the money that I'm encouraging other people to give is going to be well spent, it's going to be well used and looked after, and that the staff is going to really put their heart and soul into what they're doing.
And that's why the legacy of the Visiting Nurse Association in Texas remains so strong 75 years later, especially in a world where adequate financial assistance from government agencies and insurance companies is no longer the norm.
There's a need and recognition on the community's part that it's up to them to take care of the ailing seniors, people that are hungry, people that are sick, people that are dying, that the community needs to step up. And we actually are that vehicle by which they can do that.
And VNA continues to do just that. Highly respected accountability, outstanding leadership, and commitment to care are the benchmarks by which VNA measures its mission every single day.
I think it just goes back to there's 75 years of really doing good work.
Doing good work, what VNA of Texas has been doing for 75 years. And thankfully, for us all, that great legacy of commitment to caring lives on as strong as ever.